Hi, I'm Dan Macsai, executive editor at Time and editorial director of the Time 100. I'm so excited to be joined today by American Idol winner and multi-platinum recording artist Jordin Sparks. Jordin, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me.
So you've been in this industry a long time. In fact, I think the first time we spoke was back in 2012 when you were promoting Sparkle. So it's great to see you again.
So crazy. It
I know,
seems so long ago,
I know.
so long ago. And I guess it was when I really think about it, but that's just nuts. Time is flying. It is
Yeah.
flying.
Yes, for me too. But as you put it recently, and I want to talk about this, no matter your career accomplishments, you've been nervous to speak out about particular causes until now. So I'm wondering, what is it about this moment, about the protests happening in the wake of the killing of George Floyd, that has changed things for you?
Um, it's interesting because I know that I've been getting this question a lot since I actually mentioned it, and I am one of those people who never likes to be misunderstood or for my intention to be uh, misunderstood. And I never want people to feel offended or to feel like I'm saying something that would be malicious. I would never do that, you know? And for a very long time, whenever I would think about politics or anything like that, I would just be like, I hate the way people treat each other when we talk about politics. You know, I don't like the fact that everybody gets so riled up. Granted, there are really amazing, not amazing, but there are very valid reasons why people get so riled up and why people get so angry, and they want to voice their concerns. And for me, I was sitting with my husband. We've always had really amazingly deep conversations, and I've always felt this way. I've never posted about it because I just didn't know what to say. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know how to word it. I didn't know if what I felt was going to come across in the right way. But as Dana and I were speaking after the murder of George Floyd and going through the emotions that we felt with that, and it's different now because the fear is very real when Dana leaves the house. When my husband leaves the house, it's like, okay, hopefully things are good, and you know, are all of our tags and our plates are good, like are we okay? I don't want him to get pulled over. That fear is very real, and it's very real for a lot of families across America. And I also have to look at my son as well. DJ, he has blue eyes and he's lighter, but he's still a black kid. He's still going to be viewed as a black kid. And I am realizing that there, as much as people think he's adorable and they think he's so cute, at some point when he gets older, there are people who are going to view him as a threat for whatever reason. It's just going to turn into something like that. And I realized that if that was my husband, if that was DJ, if it was my dad, if it was my brother, it could have been. It could have been. And it's just at the point for me where I'm just like, if I offend, if somebody gets angry, all right, we all have a right to feel that the way that we want to feel. And right now, and through the end of time, I don't care. I have to talk about this and I have to speak about it. And for me, it's been it's been great to finally do that.
Right.
I had been holding my own self back in that regard of saying what I really felt and really speaking my mind. And I just, it's time.
Yep.
It has been past time for me to say something. And I have to step up and take accountability and be accountable to myself and to my family and to my son, because I'm hoping one day he won't have to have the conversation with his kids about how to conduct themselves outside of the home. That's a conversation that we shouldn't have to be having with kids. Kids are innocent. We should not have to be having that conversation. But right now in this nation, it is very real that we have to say these things to our children. And I'm grateful for my husband and his patience and him challenging me and him having so many conversations with me. Because even though I am also a Black woman, I grew up completely different than my husband did, and I have different experiences than he did.
And I know in addition to speaking out and clearly listening and using your platforms in the way that you have, you also attended a protest recently. And I'm curious, what was that experience like for you? And was there anything that stood out?
I did post about this experience on my Instagram page a couple weeks ago, but we did attend a protest. With DJ, we still have to be careful. COVID is still happening, so we have to be as careful as we can. Yeah. But my husband and I were it just got to the point where we were sitting, and I've always wanted to go. Mm-hmm. For one reason or another, I haven't been able to attend, but we finally were just sitting, and it was almost like we just got this antsiness. Like, we have to go. We have to be out there. We have to be out there and be supporting. And so we went. It was down the street, Hollywood and Vine. And our experience was a good experience. We did see the police standing in the line. We got out, joined another group of people walking to the bigger group. And as we were walking, there were police cars that kind of rushed by us. And then we finally saw what had happened. They were standing and they blocked us from walking any further. And it was really interesting because we were just walking. Like, nobody was doing anything. Everybody was we were all peaceful. Nobody was saying anything crazy. And they wouldn't let us walk, and they were ready. They had their tear gas guns out, and, their shields on. And I was standing a couple of feet back because I didn't want, just in case something happened, I wanted to make sure that my husband and I were out of range. And so we were standing there, and we started chanting, "Walk with us," and "Let us through," and they wouldn't. And so Dana and I were like, okay, let's wait a few minutes and see what happens. And then we're like, let's turn around. So we started walking the opposite direction, and we saw a few other people doing the same. And we kept walking. And by the time, we had walked maybe 20, 30 feet, the whole group had started turning. And it wasn't us leading it necessarily, but everybody had started walking behind us. And we walked for about 2 hours around Hollywood. There was a young gentleman who would run forward to the intersection and make sure cars were stopped and make sure there weren't any police there. And it was so cool how we all came together to make it work. Like, if they weren't going to let us walk, we were going to figure out a way to walk.
And you mentioned the importance of unity during times like these, of sort of everyone coming together. And one of course, the platforms that can do that best is music. You are an artist. You were working on an EP. It was scheduled to be released like right around now, but you decided to postpone it. I'm wondering if you could talk a little bit about the decision that you made and how you came to that decision.
Yeah, so I listen, there are a lot of artists right now that have amazing music, and I'm not knocking them releasing their music at any point, whenever they want to. That's their decision and their prerogative. And for me, I felt like it feels weird for me still to kind of just go back to normal when there's still so much that needs to be done. Mm-hmm. Even on my page, I think the last thing I posted was on Juneteenth, and I'm still like, I don't know how to approach this. I want to post cute things, and I want to post DJ and all that, but I also still don't want to forget about what's going on. And I want to make sure that I'm still actively trying to do this work and bring attention to these causes. And so for me, there are some songs on my new EP that are really fun and really upbeat. And I just wanted to take the time to just really look within myself. And right now, I'm just like, okay, I want to get this together and make sure I put it in the right light. And music is definitely healing. And I'm grateful that I got to put out Unknown. And I'm hoping that, in some small way, I can help, people during the day, whether it's like a little mental break that they need, or they just need to cry, or they feel they need to feel encouraged. So I'm hoping that song can do that for them. But I did postpone it till next month. And I just wanted to take time to really cultivate and make sure that I'm doing this in the right way. And for me, it just feels right to postpone it until next month, just so I can really gather my thoughts and how I feel about it. Because the music also changes. It takes on different forms depending on what's happening. So now I'm looking at the music I'm putting out, and I'm like, dang, I didn't think of it as, meaning something like that. I didn't know that it could actually, apply to this too. Right. So I wanted to take the time to really think about that.
Are you thinking about changing anything about your EP, recording any new songs? Are you writing any new songs? Like, is there anything that's changed about your process?
The songs are still going to stay the same. I'm very proud of the songs that I recorded back in February. For the first time in a long time, I've was able to record music that doesn't have, an experience attached to them, if that makes sense. Like I'm in a very good place in my life. And a lot of my songs on previous albums, there was like, something that would trigger me. And I was like, okay, I have to have this song because I felt it in that way. Or when I was writing, it was out of either pain or, something that was super happy, or a song that was completely outside of my comfort zone, but I wanted to do it anyway. But this particular set of songs came from a really happy place, came from a very loving place. And I don't want to take those off because I feel like we definitely need that. So I have those. Whether or not I add something new, I'm not sure, because I don't think the timing, just with what we have, the process.
It's only got a couple of weeks. Yeah, right.
Yeah. So I definitely need that time. But I have been writing and recording, and I'm excited because I'm like, okay, I gotta already look ahead to the next thing I want to put out. So I'm excited that I have material like that I can just be like, okay, we already gave you the EP in July. Let's see what we're doing in the next couple months. So it is really cool to be able to still do what I love during this time. I know that there are a lot of people who are not having the greatest time and who are struggling and who are fighting for justice. There's a lot of things going on. But I'm really grateful that I can still do my work and my job and my passion throughout all of this.
Well, I think that's as good a note as any to end on. Jordin, thank you so much.